than the left. If we go back to our screenshot here, that's what we wanted to have. So we'll go back to the code here. As far as a name goes here, it's just saying navbar, right? I don't think that's a great name. We should put our own name. So let's go ahead and put, in my case, Nick Walter. Please do your own name. There can't be a million Nick Walter fan sites out there. What kind of projects would you put out there? That might actually be funny to see your Nick Walter website. But look, boom, we reload. Now we have Nick Walter there. And all of these are A tags, so we can put in the href here. This, should take us back to the home page. The next thing that we have here, this button, this is the toggle button. So we really just want to keep this exactly how it is. You can see there's a ton of code inside of there. Just leave that be, okay? The next thing that we're going to have here is the collection of links that are going to be up at the top of the page, unless it goes small enough and then they sort of list top to bottom here. Now, the big thing that we want to do is make sure that these can move over to the right side. And so here, this div that's inside of the bigger one, this navbar-nav, we're going to add one more class here, do space ml-auto. And this basically says, hey, you need to go ahead and move to the right side and to test to see if this works. Reload this page and boom, look at that. We've got the home, features, pricing, whatever. And if we scrunch this closer, hit that button, look at that. They still show up. Great. So that's looking good. Let's instead just change these to be what we have in the sketch, right? So we have Twitter, resume, and blog. So I'm just going to go ahead and change what we have here. So we're going to have Twitter. We'll have resume. And we're going to also have blog. Now there's all sorts of different options you can have on here, like active, for example, makes it so that it's a little bit highlighted from the rest, disabled sort of grays it out, but we don't want to have any of those for the time being. So let's just go ahead and delete that disabled, but then also up here on the top one it says active, get rid of that. There's also this span. We also want to go ahead and get rid of that one as well, get rid of that ending span tag. So what we should have here is 3 A tags that are nav items, nav link. And so if we reload our homepage, oh yeah, look at that. We've got all our buttons. When we hover over, they turn a different color. I'm telling you, Bootstrap really quickly gets your website looking great. So that's awesome. The next step that we have here is we want this to say, hi, I'm Nick. So now we're moving down a bit here. So here we can see there's the Jumbotron, which the Jumbotron is everything that's inside of this box here. This is sort of the big things you want to announce to people. And so if we go back to there, look for where it says album example. That's where we're going to want to put our name. So here it is, the H1 tag album example. We're going to change this to, hi, I'm Nick. Maybe something like that, right? Because that's what we were hoping for. Then it's got some text inside of here that we can write whatever it is that we want. So I'm going to scroll all the way over and I'm going to put a little message here. I'm just going to say, hey, my name is Nick Walter and I love to make Django websites. It's the thrill of handling the requests that the people want. I don't know, that's the cheesiest tag ever, but let's reload it. Oh, look at that. That looks pretty cool. And again, we shrink this puppy down. Look, like the text sort of shrinks how we need it. Oh, I want my menu items. Yeah, they're still there. Pretty great stuff. Now we don't need 2 buttons here. We probably only need 1. So let's edit the main call to action and delete secondary action. So let's go, look, there's secondary action and boom, that's gone. There's different button classes that you can add to change the colors and whatnot. So in this case, we're going to have this one say email me, or what did we say? Did it say contact? Something like that. Oh, email me. That looks fine. So we'll keep that. I will show you one cool thing here is that inside of your href, if you want to automatically open up an email, you can say mail to : and then you can specify what email should happen when someone clicks on that. So for example, if I do mail to nick@zappycode.com, okay, now when we go back to the home page here and reload, if someone clicks on this, it's going to open up their default web browser and it's going to start sending a message to them. So if I go ahead and click this, look, it opened up my mail client here, and I don't have one set up, so That's why that didn't work out all that spectacularly. But if someone has that open, it's going to do that. And if you want to, you can even specify what the subject should be, have some body text in there. You can Google that if you're more curious, but that's at least the basics that we need. All right, the next thing that we need inside of there is an image, and I'm not going to talk about that quite yet. I need to have a whole discussion with you about static files, and that's going to be connected with the resume. So we'll pause on that for a second. But then we're going to have the jobs down below, which we already have a pretty good list here of those, but we need those to be customized. So we're going to leave that. So the last thing that I'd just like to cover here is the footer. So let's go ahead and move down to what we've got here. We're going to have to move back a lot of example jobs, and you can see we have this footer. So it's inside of the footer where basically I want to teach you how to add some text that says like copyright Nick Walter, blah, blah, blah year. Now, personally, I don't think that's all that important for a website, but I know it's a huge request among people. So I want you to learn how you can add it to the bottom of a website and that it shows the current year, no matter what year it is. So you don't have to, January 2nd or 3rd, someone calls you and say, hey, your website still says 2018. You're like, oh, okay, let me go switch it to 2019, whatever, right? So there's a couple of things inside right now, like there's this float right that says, back to top so that someone can, if they're at the bottom of the page, click this and instantly get back to the top. Our website's not going to be that big, so I'm not really a huge fan of that one. I think we should get rid of it. And also we've got, album example, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I'm actually going to delete everything inside of there. So we just have this container div. And then inside of here, this is where I'm going to present some text. And let's put it in a little paragraph tag. So opening P tag, ending P tag. And inside of here, this is where we want to say something like copyright Nick Walter, and then we want to say some year like 2019 or whatever. But what we can do here with Django is if we do our curly bracket percentage, another percentage on the other side, we can say now space, and then inside of double quotes we can put a capital Y, which will put the year. So let's go ahead and save this and reload the page here. Oh yeah, look at that, copyright Nick Walter 2018. Now if you don't like that it's off to the left side, we can go ahead and center this. So inside of this container, if we do space text dash center, add that as a class and reload this page, look at that, now it says copyright Nick Walter. Now saying copyright, it doesn't look that great. It'd be awesome if we had the little symbol. We can do that. I know on a Mac the way to go get emojis is Control Command Spacebar all at the same time. It pops up this little emoji menu, and look, it was one of my frequently used. If not, I believe it's down here at the bottom spaces, but I can just go ahead and plop that guy in right there. And now say copyright Nick Walter, and then the year, and then we reload this page. Oh yeah, looking good. So if you're on Windows or Linux, you're going to have to look up how to get the copyright. You could also just look for other pages or search copyright, find the emoji, and then copy and paste it into there. But there you have it. I mean, that was a really quick intro into Bootstrap. I mean, we'll be doing some other things through the rest of this site and the next one. So I think you'll get a pretty good grasp on Bootstrap. It really is worth the time to go dive in and sort of learn more about Bootstrap and how it works. And it's not the only framework out there. It's the one that I personally like, but there's lots of ways to do front-end development. And this would probably be a good teaching moment to explain how Django is mostly about the back-end development, meaning setting up the urls.py. So when someone asks for this particular thing, you can go collect the appropriate information and send it back to the user. And so the kind of the divide between back-end development and front-end development, if you've heard those terms, is front-end development is all dependent upon how the website looks. Like if you're a front-end developer, this like home.html, this is your place. You don't really care about the urls.py. You don't really care about those views functions and how they work. You just like, I need to make this thing look good, and you send me the couple of variables that I need to make this thing look great. And if you're the back-end person, you're saying, well, I don't really care exactly how it looks. I'm just going to get you the information that you need. So in this course, we're covering both ends here, definitely diving more on the back-end side because that's more of what Django was made for. But just wanted to help draw that the difference between the two in case you were wondering. Okay, before I get any more tongue-tied, we should end this lecture. Let's go ahead and talk about how we can get those jobs to show up on this page.